Hello everyone guys, welcome to today's edition of Setup Guiding here on rFactor 2. We are in the mighty McLaren Senna GTR at Zandvoort, a car that I have not driven in the latest episodes of Simracing here, whether that is rFactor 2 or anything else really. Right, so we go out in the standard setup first of all, and we're gonna do a little bit of a track guide to begin with. You know, getting ready with the car itself, getting ready for setting up the car, you know, feeling the car first. So yeah, we take, oh dear, let's just do that again. That's not the way you want to start out of pit road. But that's exactly what I mean. Like, I need to feel the car first really in order to get really going. But you guys can have pen and paper ready for sure, as I'm pretty sure that there will be interesting stuff coming in that session. McLaren Senna GTR, it is stronger than, wow, and I just forgot that this car has no brakes whatsoever in the beginning. This car is stronger than a hypercar. You can also select it as a hypercar configuration, but it is much slower than in the standard GTR version. About the car itself, it has very low brakes. It tends to understeer a lot, and for the time being we just need to make sure that we get in line with the car, get ready for it. And actually start feeling what the car will need. Something that needs to be said about this machine, it is obviously a great one for qualifying, as it is super challenging. So by using this car for qualifying, you'll certainly find most of the you know, the drivers with the most skillful assets. Wow, the understeer though. So, minute and 46. I will get one timed lap in. I get the chance. So the car has 7 gears. So since I'm not using the 7th here, that means we need to work on the gearbox. And for that reason, after the lap, I will check out what the speed was, so that I can line up my gearbox towards it. Let me first do the track guide though. And hope, I'm not sure if I get a full new lap. I should get one. So in this session also, Kevin Siggy and Jeffrey Rietveld, two mighty quick guys. They will most likely have their esports setups ready already at this stage. I want to have a short disclaimer out. Obviously, I'm putting out a baseline setup, so you guys can take that and work further on it. But as you can imagine, I don't have the high-end esports setup up here. Anyway, we're coming around final turn to start another flying lap. Best overtaking spot, heavy braking zone here in the car, further than 100 meters away from the apex. Want to stay all the way to the inside, carry the speed up to the short sprint up towards turn 3, where you want to hug the inside of the curb to not go as wide as I just did, but on the outside here you want to stay wide, because that is the esports line and also the racing line that seemed to work well in Formula 1. So to be halfway up into turn 7, the fast downhill right-hander. The car wants to slide here, and actually it did slide too much. Track is being moved forward anyway, session-wise. So we just do that again next time when we go out on track. So on the fuel, I will take 20 liters for now because I want to do some consecutive laps, not just, you know, go out, do a lap, have to do it again, and so on. About the gearing, you can adjust the gears. So first of all, I'm gonna put the final back where we're with 6th gear. So we need to somehow reach 300. Maybe a click more, like this maybe. And then we align our gearbox up to that. I will take first gear considerably long so that we can actually use it in the corners. And then, since it's a naturally aspirated engine, we want to have the revs as high as possible for most of the time. Hence why I keep a fairly long first. Let's take it like this for the time being. Papa Kuhn, 2:30 a.m. until I had the F1 analyzers back down, it was like 3 a.m. So it took quite some time. Tire pressures. Minimum, put them all to minimum. That's what you need them for. Change scene, okay, copy. That's better. I guess that's better. On the gearbox itself, guys can have a quick look. Have your notes, have your pens, or quickly stop the stream so that you can note down what we've just said. Also, engine mixture, we put it obviously into qualifying. Anything else doesn't make any sense. Minimum tire pressures, already done that. Brakes, I will turn them up, and I felt the front end was a bit lazy on the brakes, so I put the bias a bit further to the middle. Wheel range, well, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. I, for the time being, will take 450, as we maybe want to yeet a little bit on the steering wheel. Suspension side, we just keep standard for now. Rear wing, I take 3 and see how that feels. Traction control, I take 3 as well. I advise to have traction control on and a traction control override button on the steering wheel. On the drivetrain, nothing we set there right now anyway. You know, we just start with the very basics, and we're just gonna work ourselves from there on. To turn down the force feedback. And then we have a look. 20 liters in the car. Probably can still take a longer first. And then we do our first 3 or 4 laps, see what we need to change. I guess the gearbox is fine now. Back to driving screen. So as I said, naturally aspirated engine, more RPM means more power. And then we go for our first flying lap around the Zandvoort circuit. Skellingtor, thank you so much for hosting our stream with a viewer here. C7th gear. Perhaps you can turn it down a little, just for the hot lap competition itself. So you want to stay on the inside here. 2nd or 3rd gear, not quite decided yet. For this turn 3, stay further on the inside here, then swing the car into this banked left-hander, carrying all the speed onto the back straight towards turn 7. where you want a short heavy tab on the brakes, then line yourself up on the inside here. Don't go too wide, want to kiss the curb, and already set yourself up for 8, which is inviting to go in too quick. Into 9, then want to stay in the middle, a little to the outside, but middle and tight here in turn 10 on the acceleration zone. Want to kiss the curb. Next up, the chicane, where you want to be obviously late on the brakes, and then really mount that inside curb, but not too much, as it can give you a track limit. And then you want to stay all the way to the inside of the left-hand curb, very late on the throttle, just that you don't understeer off there. And well, here you want to maximize the track to be used, so be tighter on the curb, even carry even more speed onto the back straight. And then the first lap is 122.9. Let's see how we can straight improve. Hopefully get the delta back in business. A bit slower into this turn, and then you can throttle it harder with 3/10 up. CMD Roku Sale, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the setup guy here in the McLaren Senna GTR. A bit more on the brakes, turn in, don't go over the curb. I would really try to stay away from the curb as it's bouncing too much. And here you need to make it more to the inside. It is a very technical track with a very difficult car to drive, so I can understand this combo is a quite frustrating one to a certain extent. So we're 4/10 up. If I just would get that turn a little better, that would be so great. 122.0. So at this stage, guys, you know, I'm still warming up. As I said, I've never not driven the car in a while, not driven the track in a while. Also, it seems like I'm not sure how the tires are warming up on this machine. Need to check that too. Ah, you live 15 kilometers from Zandvoort away. Well, then we can expect you to have your home track assets bonus performance out there. Constant understeer in the car, that is what we need to fix. 2/10 improvement we're coming in, 21.8. Stay all the way to the inside, carry the speed then on the exit, catch the momentum right there. Third gear. I'm still struggling a little bit with performance right here. This is excessive understeer though. Okay. Let's tackle that then. And yeah, sorry guys, I'm about to get sick or so again, so F. Right, we're gonna stick with the 20 liters for now. We want to improve the camber on the front. Let me quickly open the window a bit. It's quite hot in here. We want to open, well, to increase the negative camber though to a certain extent. As we have a lot of understeer going on, and you know the car's rigid, but I'm just not sure how it really leans on the front tires. So I'm just trying to get that more aggressive and see what happens. On the brake bias itself, I go even a click further to the neutral position. Brake ducts are gonna close them by 33% and just see what happens, whether the car can deal with it. 7th gear, I take that a click shorter and apply the rest to the gearbox. Still want 1st gear to be actually as long as the 2nd. So we can use it for turn 1 and the chicane and so on. That will give us the opportunity to go closer with the gears. Let's see if that works. On the suspension side, first of all, I want to increase the caster. To make it maximum caster will just give you a little bit more feel, and as the front end is kind of dull and kind of dumb on the car, should improve it, should help it. On the chassis itself, I'm gonna increase the ride height, as that will give us more turning momentum for the car itself. I will keep the anti-roll bar for now at 4. Disclaimer, this is more like going to be a hot lap setup rather than a race setup. So bear that in mind when using it later on. The caster. The caster has something to do with the positioning of the tires and the positioning of the overall tires. Suspension on the car. Whereas a higher caster gives you a little bit better front end, is a bit more pointy, but you'd also have a little less top speed, I believe, and you make the overall suspension a bit stiffer. Exactly, how much lean forwards and backwards with when looking from the side of the car. That is what the caster is doing. Aerodynamics, it felt like that rear wing could be taken away completely. Red tape, we're gonna put 50, see what happens, and yeah, see whether we improve. Disclaimer to myself, the tires are warming up, or they have tire blankets, so you have warmed tires like literally straight after lap 1. So let's see if we have enhanced power overall on the straights and so on with shorter gearboxes. Should certainly give us the opportunity to have high power deploy at all stages on the track. Whether we need 3rd here or even 2nd. Let's see for this Fernando Garcia, thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel, by the way. The 1st gear noise out of the chicken. Yeah, Hudson, the brake is extremely weak on the car. Too high up. Yeah, the car has much more performance now on the downhill section. It's just going more quack. Can't really say though if the front camber really has helped turning. Yeah, she is a bit springy, especially since the setup itself is quite stiff still. Aye. Well, it's going to be a PB just because the overall car setup is just so much better. Also less grounding. Oh, the excessive understeer though. Brake bias is too far at the front. I see what you mean, and I will go backwards with a few clicks. Like first gear isn't really beneficial to use, but probably having a shorter second then and staying in second and third in some occasions is probably the way to go. So I just keep the higher end gears a bit longer. On the brakes, I go back to 50.5. Just felt alright actually then, because this now has felt worse. Weight distribution is already maximum to the back. That's great. That's what we want. Overall spring rates, I'm gonna put them down now, and I'm still gonna increase the right height at the back a bit and hope that I have not overdone it, but we'll find out soon. Hey Mario, welcome. So 21.7 we got, yeah? Ah, good, need to find roughly a second still. I know that the top guy has a 20.3, but you know, don't need to be first right here. The front end still feels a bit sluggish, so I wonder whether increasing the camber was the right decision. I'm running TC3. Rear end is a bit loose. But here for the low speed turns, that is where a high rear end should really benefit us. And also here, no understeer, if anything a bit of a twitchy rear. Yep, can change the view. Oh, there is a moment of understeer. That surely has to do with the camber. Or some grounding, either of those. Maybe adding some packers is not the worst idea. I still have the feeling that second lap is faster in the car. And I keep missing that apex, it's so insane. Need to be early on the throttle, make use of that TC override button. Yep, the qualifiers are on the competition system. Ah, I effed up. Damn it. So really make use of that engine brake as well. Heavy downshift can also unsettle the rear a little bit into turn 1, or shifting it into second and powering it out. For God's sake, if I could finally stop effing up this turn. There is a button here on the steering wheel, this one for me, where you disable the traction control as long as you press it. Wow. Okay. The front end is too sluggish, and I will put down the camber again, and on the rear I will go down 2 clicks. Oops, down. As it's just a bit too much, and because I want the car to rotate, I stiffen the slow bump. And the front, I want to see what a centimeter of Packers is doing. Yerne, because I'm doing my first lappy or so, and I'm starting with the setup from scratch, so we are working on the second. Now I want to have a high caster, because for the low speed turns a higher caster is usually better. You can't join Yerne. Session has already started. So let's see if I'm ever able to touch the downside curb. Nearly. Come on, final turn. There's 2, 3, 4 tenths in it. Bit too twitchy on the exit. Hey Terry. Hey Mattia. Mattia, you won't be able to. I can already tell you. That rule is in for a reason, I guess. Which may have to do with the travel. Right. Let's detach the rear anti-roll bar and see what happens, while also putting down the front anti-roll bar a click. Yeah, we need to even make it more like a drift car, I guess, to unleash the full power. I could actually see this detached anti-roll bar working, because in rFactor 2 that usually happens. On the same note though, it may introduce incredible understeer. So we are looking but as much as the car feels kinda alright on the front end, the more tricky the braking currently is. Especially in this area here. I will reduce traction control by a click, just to give it a more overall momentum on power. But yeah, that won't get you further, trust me. If you're sub 18 years old and the competition is for 18 plus only, then a contract won't help you. Oh well. Car doesn't feel nicer at all, but as you can see, it's just quicker. Attached ARB as you would like it. But I don't like it that way. So we are giving it a bit more performance, lower spring rate, softer anti-roll bar, a bit less bump. Just for initial turning. That's what I really want to have. Slow rebound, I'll leave that. I rather take the brake by as a click up again. On the camber, let me move that a little bit on the rear and see. Yeah, I think the plus 18 has something to do with the on-stage finale, as that will go longer than I don't know what, and probably there is a, in Germany it's called Jugendschutzgesetz, so a law that actually disables sub 16 or sub 18-year-old people to stay out of home alone longer than, I don't know, 10 p.m. or something. And the organization will probably, oh dear, will probably go longer than that. So I don't think any contract or any declaration of whatever will help you to get into the competition when you're sub 18 years old. I'm afraid there's not much you can do. So at this point, I need to start, well, to stop working on the setup actually. We're gonna go through it in the bigger picture later on when I feel more comfortable on it, that I'm on the right way. Right now it's a bit of trial and error as well. You know, rFactor 2 not always works the way it's actually intended. Wrong approach. Just so much understeer in it. Okay. Yeah, well, Mattia, I would love to give you better opinion or a more positive opinion, but right. So, let's have a look. Gears. We stay fine with this. Tires. Actually, putting more camber in seems way to go. Because that just give me more of a good feeling when rotating the car. Gave me more turning momentum. On the spring rate and on the anti-roll bar, it could well be that a bit stiffer is actually not too bad for it. I will keep the rest of that going. The toe in, I could go up on the toe in still to improve the turn in. But then, you know, the car's like dancing and swinging around. So what I do instead is I go in the drivetrain and I'm gonna put the preload lower. I'm gonna put the coast lower to get more rotation into the turn, and I even go a click lower on the power, so overall making the car more rotating. And then I should soon, with a little bit of better driving, make it into the 20s. Have 55 minutes to go still, so plenty of time to try stuff. I hope this is going to be my only qualifying session anyway. I mean, the car is also pretty lazy as in general. There's sometimes not much you can do about it with the setup. You can obviously fine-tune it a little bit. And now it's starting to feel alright again. So it could well be that you need to run stiffer spring and stiffer ARBs to prevent it from grounding, or relying too much on the tires itself, which it cannot do as good. Yeah, bad entry. Very nice downhill turn. A bit too wide actually. But the car finally rotating good again. If not too good. Yeah, I mean you certainly feel the road car brakes, don't you? The car literally has no brakes whatsoever. And yeah, true, it has a very long wheelbase. Very good exit out of 3. Acevedo, thank you very much for the follow. Come on, turn. Oh, okay. I will still need to do some final adjustments. Let me go back. Okay, put anti-roll bar soft at least. Spring right on 4. It's like very easy to also oversee something. And somehow 2-0 felt best in the end. I mean, okay, I still got fuel for 8 laps in. Could take that down. We'll take that down later on to get the final 10th out of it. But first of all, you know, I need something that is consistent, that feels alright. And I'm going a bit back and forth on things. Now would be obviously the time when you start balancing out the car with the dampers a bit. Maybe we're running too hard into the packers as well. So in roughly 1 hour we also jump into the iRacing car and try and build a basic setup for the Mercedes F1 AMG car. Lol. Yeah, but that doesn't feel too bad after all. Just some little bit better cornering speeds. Oh, the double upshift was bad. No, the Mercedes is great. Mercedes drives like it looks to be driven from the TV. Some people may say it is too easy for an iRacing car, but personally I think it's just awesome. I actually enjoyed it, and as you know, I do not. There's not many cars I enjoy in iRacing, but that Mercedes is certainly one of them. Yep, Villa, exceptionally we do. We're talking about iRacing in 1 hour. Let me take out the Packer again. Now, right now I'm not too sure if I'm not limiting myself with a goddamn Packer. Actually, you know what? Engineering Senna GTR. Have a look at the data. Here is a quite excessive grounding. Where is that? My blind, where's the track map? Ah, okay, yeah, when coming over the hill. That isn't really a big issue. That is alright. So yeah, let's take out the Packer. Don't think we need it. So for those interested, the setup will later on be available on my Discord server. So type in !Discord, join that, and then later on in the channel setup market I'm gonna post it. Enjoy, Annie. Yeah, actually I hope I will put in a low 21 and that to be enough for the top 60. Can't really be arsed to do a lot more. (21.2) in P35. Copy. We need a little bit more performance then. So it's interesting, you take out the packer, and according to Motec you don't grind and don't ground, but you have less speed on the main straight. Hashtag what? And actually, most likely the grounding is actually happening. So, in other news, I will go up a few clicks with the right hat at the front. I will put the packer back in. I will make the spring rate stiffer. I will give the camber a few clicks more again. Then the rebound. Crank it up all the way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't ground at 0 in Motec. It grounds somewhere else. Because I was seriously going slower over the straight. And it's not like I had a super shit exit. Yeah, that suspension feels a lot more active now. Question is it better everywhere though? Because I guess here in that area, a lower front end would still give me more performance. Let's see. Grande. Wrong gear. Take that seriously in a second. But yet alone for this turn, it's an easy time gain. But can we keep that and bring that over the line, or will we lose it down here? So far, so goody. Keep it tight here, early on the throttle. Car wants to be powered out of the turns. We're coming for improvement. Roughly 2/10 was a very nice final turn. Finally got in the mojo there a bit, and we're gonna improve into the 0.1s. Ah, too late. So, was an improvement. We put up the anti-robot 2 again. Raise the right height by another click. Just over-exaggerated. Put anti-robot back to 3. I still feel a lack of performance on the rear. And I don't have a traction issue, by all means. I can manage a slide or whatever, but on the entry it's kinda alright. It's already borderline of making me spin. But in the mid corner, Jesus Christ, the car just does not turn at all. And last resort would be stiffening the spring for that. I mean, the car is difficult. The right amount of trail braking to apply is just so hard to do. As these front tires like to lock up pretty quick. Yeah, we can have a look into the fast bumps. Maybe actually softening them a bit isn't a bad idea. Aye. No! What did I say about the rear? It's absolutely fine. Spring rate, click 4. Rear right high. I'm gonna go a click further up still. The far, like, let me see. Let's put those fast bumps and rebounds a bit softer anyway. Try again. I just went down 5 clicks with everyone, just to get a bit more softiness in. I indeed have a lack of mechanical grip at the front, but that has more to do with the car itself rather than with the setup. The car is just constantly and notoriously understeery. I'm already running a much higher or a much more aggressive setup on the rear, like you would usually never run it on rFactor 2. There's hardly a setup, apart from Formula Pro, where you not run a detached anti-roll bar. Like, not even in qualifying you run a anti-roll bar in the back most of the time, so... But that is how seriously understeery this particular car here is. And then probably even in Spa and Monza you got other issues. But let's see. We're gonna have the same fun with a Mercedes F1 car on iRacing in 1 hour again, trying to build a setup. That was a bit better. Ah, stick with me, F. No, the rear is not detached right now. But usually it would be. Can I give it more exit speed? We're identical. Ah, I've just given it away. F. Soften the rear tires. If anything, I would want to have it even stiffer. But right now it is a bit overdone anyway. Put the anti-roll bar in the front a click softer and see what happens. Not much I can do in the drivetrain really, it's already softest apart from the preload. But I just want to keep that for now. Got two. Anyway, guys, if you enjoy the content, I would massively appreciate if you guys follow up on Twitch and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more setup guides, for more technical and educational streams, also for a little bit more of racing fun, of course. So the further plan for tonight, in roughly 50 minutes, we jump on iRacing towards Barcelona in the Mercedes AMG F1 W12E performance car, and we're trying to learn it, we're trying to give it a basic setup, we're trying to figure out controls and ERS and ERS deploy, ERS harvesting. We're trying to figure out how the differential is working and so on. So loads of stuff to do. You can see the tire temps down here on the dash. Not more I can really display. But I can tell you I'm overheating them big times on the surface. Actually, yeah, you can see them on those dashes. 30 minutes to go. Too deep down. Yeah. Cool down lap, maybe the next one is better. Hudson, the lowest tire pressures indeed, the springs not necessarily, but yeah, generally speaking, a softer spring is always good. And yes, especially the tire pressure is, you know, is a particular rFactor 2 thing. So, Speaking about the F1 car on iRacing, we're gonna dial that in at 6 PM and later on, looking at 9 PM roughly, we're gonna jump into some fun races around Spa-Francorchamps in the Mercedes F1 car on iRacing. So I'm pretty sure you guys want to check that out. But for the time being, we give it everything here. Not entirely happy with the corner still. Missed the apex from not seeing it, great. Yeah, it is more of a rally car at this stage. Papa Kuhn has sent friend requests. Copy, we are looking later on. So I think sector wise I got my 0.0 already. Just need to show it on the track. Michi not in second again. Don't go too high up. Meh. This sometimes it just doesn't grip on the front. It is so annoying. Now I feel like I'm too bad on the front end. Let's go even more extreme then. We soften the shit up just. And I am now at the last time running with 20 liters, then I take out the fuel. For some final hot laps. Maybe I need to just put something crazy in the back, like a stiff spring or so. But then this happens, you know, you go down that turn and you already start spinning and sliding. EGR Philly, thanks for the follow and welcome. Thank you, Philly. Much appreciating the words. The rear sliding is actually what makes us really quick at the minute. Crazy. See, that is the reason why I don't want to put even more performance on the rear. Even less performance, or even more performance on the front. It's already borderline. Mario should not be. The track should be just static. I can a little bit. I have still a click or two to go on the front, yes. Ah! Ah! Concentrate, man. Oh. It wasn't a pitch perfect one by all means, but wasn't too bad either. Turn one, a tenth or two. It's a sweaty car. Nothing you can do. You need to flick the car into the turn. There is no other way. Like with a little bit of brakes attached and with a downshift, you just flick the car in. Here you somehow need to rely that there is one line and sometimes one little slide angle that you need to hit with the car just to, you know, to go around the turn. This was great. Here I don't know, I probably need to throw it harder. Let's see, maybe the high traction control is the issue. That's a little bit of a drift slide. with the car isn't an issue really. Like, this is exactly what I mean. You just throw it in, wait for that time to turn around. It is too random. It's too random. Yeah, let them do that 120, whatever. Like, you need to make it into the top 60 and then you can end up in any split anyway, so I'm not even going to try hard for this one. It's like, just save the energy and focus on other things. Would be a different story if the top 5 would go straight into the final, of course, but you know, we're all doing the semi-finals. So first goes into first, second in the second, third in the third split, and then fourth gets in the first split again, and so on. So P58 gets in the first, P59 in the second, and P60 in the third split. And then, you know, it is like a complete Russian roulette of whom you're gonna face anyway. Last 15 minutes. Next run I'm gonna change fuel. What a yeet. Too early in the fourth, but never mind. It is the 10th. And we know we have 2 more 10th together. What a car. What a yeet. 7 liters is what I recommend for 2 flying laps. You know, just to make sure. Actually, I'm not sure if that is 2 flying laps. It'd be 8 liters. 15 minutes to go. Let's put that 20 point whatever. I need to yeet so hard on the steering wheel, probably a few clicks lower on the camber would still be something. I'm not even sure actually if taking out the fuel is the huge difference now. It's just 13 liters. Yes, it's broken. Yeah, not perfect. But we're gonna make it into the 20s. Or we don't make it. Oh dear, I can't spell your name, but I thank you very much for your subscription on the YouTube channel. Thank you for the support there. Interesting. So torque seems working quite well on the car. So now we're just hot fapping, hot fapping, hot fapping, and either we make it with an improvement or we don't make it. We can do 20.9, that should easily get us into the top 60, all that we need to do now. Turn. If. Oh, fucking curb. Oh, okay, now I get annoyed. No, the wide entry into 4 is because that is the quickest racing line. Lol. Nice brakes. Actually want to stay even further to the right here to enter from that very top, go a little downhill and just make the banking work for you. This one is still a bit a tricky one. You want to kiss that curb, but I can't really see it. Thanks to the sun occlusion. Too much grounding on that exit curb. That was a good one. Finally. Ah, fuck, I knew it. Oh, this chicane. When you get the entry just a little bit wrong, the car feels alright. But when it goes through that little hole or whatever that is, then there is a slight moment where you have too much rotation, then you hesitate a little bit, and while hesitating you take the momentum away from the car and you never get that back to the exit. Oh, big F. 6 minutes to go, 2 laps. I really should put in the 0.8 or the 0.9, just to be safe. I mean, times will a lot improve on the weekend, I assume. This is where you need to stay at, and then car just sorts itself. Fuck. Just losing that little bit of a momentum there on the top of 4. F. And come on. I could just jump out of the window right now for being too damn stupid. Like, it's always say it's not like it's so easy to put the lap together, but it's just so easy to do a 20. I mean, literally on every lap I was now at some stage I had delta for a 20. So fuck's sake, need to do it at some point. Yeah, and this touching that little painted surface, it's just bad. Yeah, I have my mind already on the Merc happening in 25 minutes, but I should more focus on staying here with my mind now. Two laps for us to do. But the big problem also is the car, every time you get somewhere it feels just different. It's so sluggish. And that makes it so difficult to just get it right. Like, you know, approaching here, taking it easy, and the car, like, it stays here on the inside, but last time, just not. Yeah, anyway. Otherwise, see it positive. If it gets tight with a 60th place with the lap time I have, then you enjoy us grinding another qualifying session at some stage. Nah, I'm not really burned out. I'm just... It is a hard car on a difficult track. It's quite difficult to nail a lap around here anyway, but this is like, you know, the double difficulty, kind of. Nice torque. Veggie, thank you so much for the follow. We're still gonna find the 10th during the lap, I know it. Told you so. So damn stupid, man. Look at the momentum we just left alone on the fucking lap. 120.9. Shake my head. Really shake my head. Summary, save. Need to save it first though. Quack, 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 quack.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
This is our virtual PB, so we can do a 0.6 just from, you know, just from the sector times, all alone. If you'd put the mini sectors down, probably still faster. Anyway, guys, that's taking it to the end for the setup guide. We will be back live in 15 minutes with a Formula 1 car, the Mercedes AMG F1 W12E Performance at Barcelona on iRacing, doing kind of the same thing. Not 100% a setup guide because, you know, I'm an iRacing noob, so I just say I'm trying to learn the car, working a little bit on the iRacing setup, trying to get a baseline setup in for myself, maybe also for you. So maybe you want to join that. For those watching on YouTube, you can just stay on the channel. We're gonna, like, you know, this video is gonna divert you straight to the new video coming. For everyone else, and I quickly have a look on the standings here. Well, Siggy, GG, 99. Everyone will say thank you. Everyone is gonna grind, and Papamichi is P24. With a 0.6, we would be P12. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. P60 currently with a 121.8. That will come down surely to a low 21. So let's see what's happening in the end. For those of you that are interested in the setup though, explanation mark Discord. I will share the setup right there, right now in the setup marketplace. Guys, that's gonna do it for right now. That's gonna do it here for the setup guide with the GTR McLaren Senna. Yeah. Guys, we're back live on iRacing in 15 minutes. Thanks for your time. Please, if you've appreciated the program, I would appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button on the video, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you follow up on Twitch. Actually, you know, we can make 2,700 Twitch followers and 4,200 YouTube subscribers today, as we have a busy day. As I said, 15 minutes F1 car, we do basic setup work, and later on around 9 p.m. we're going to race it at Spa-Francorchamps as well. So, guys, tune in. Anyway, we see each other in 15 minutes. Have a good time. See you. Bye-bye.